Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss another important component of human resource management, that is labor relations and human resource management communication. So let's start with our discussion. So first of all, what are unfair labor practices of employer? Like what are the things any employer do injustice towards the employee, towards the labor? Number one, impose a condition in a contract of employment restraining the rights to join a trade union. डेफिनेटली अगर आपका जो एम्प्लॉयर है आपको रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा है या आपको मना कर रहा है कि आपको किसी ट्रेड यूनियन के साथ या किसी के साथ आपने नहीं रखना, सो अगेन इट्स रॉन्ग प्रैक्टिस। और या तो आपको कह रहा है कि यू कैन नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ एनी trade union, or you could not join, or refuse to employ or continue to employ a person, किसी को ना रख रहे हो या किसी को किसी भी वजह से मना कर रहे हो, so again these are unfair practices. या तो वो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करे रिगार्डिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रमोशन एंड वर्किंग कंडीशन, अगेन दीज आर ऑल्सो अनफेयर प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ लेबर इन टर्म्स ऑफ लेबर यूनियंस। या तो वो डिसमिस, डिस्चार्ज, रिमूव, ट्रांसफर, injure or threaten a workman. Also, these are some unfair practices. या offering an advantage, like किसी को advantage दे रहा है बाकियों को नहीं advantage दे रहा, so this is also not right. Then compelling or pressuring or threatening or sometime confinement to some particular individual, again this is not good. Interference or influence the balloting, if there are elections of that agent and the higher management is influencing it in terms of like maybe they are maybe favoring someone and not favoring others, so it's a wrongdoing. Then we have recruitment of new employees during the period of strike. That's again, you could not recruit anyone when there is strike going on by the labor. So again, you could not do hirings at that stage. Close down of the whole establishment, again, if it's lockout by the employer or it's a strike by the labor. In both the situations, you being the management, close down should not be done, or again, it's a wrong practice of the management. Lastly, provide money to support illegal lockout. Sometimes some management try to give money to other people and then try to have lockdown because they say, okay, it's our organization and we are not allowing anyone. So they provide money to support illegal lockout. So this is again very unethical practice by that particular employer. So this all should be avoided. Then we have formation of work council, like how work council or how this collective bargaining association can be formed. So basically there must be 50 or more workmen that should be part of that. The duration is basically for 12 months. Equal member of representation should be there, like all people should be there in terms of like election, in terms of like that tenure, who will be deciding, who will be voting. दिस कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग, जो आपका एजेंट है, जो आपकी जो एसोसिएशन बनेगी, दैट शुड बी वेरी मच क्लियर कि किसने क्या करना है, व्हाट शुड बी द हायरार्की, व्हाट शुड बी द प्लान्स, सो एवरीबडी इज plan for that and everybody know that how they are going to work on this particular agenda. CBA, nomination of CBA, again CBA something कि how you are going to go with the फॉर दिस कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग एजेंट में आपने किसको रखना है, किसका एग्रीमेंट है, कितनी देर का एग्रीमेंट है, बिकॉज बेसिकली रिटन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो निगोशिएट होता है बिटवीन मैनेजमेंट एंड द पर्टिकुलर लेबर यूनियन. So all the terms and conditions needs to be there and all the work council needs to be in line with all the clauses so that in everything whatever is being discussed, आपकी अगर कोई भी इसमें यू हैव सम मे बी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, लाइक आपकी क्या पे होनी चाहिए, क्या बेनिफिट्स होंगे, क्या वर्किंग आवर्स होंगे, किस पे लीव मिलेगी, क्या आपके जॉब हेल्थ या सेफ्टी पॉलिसीज हैं, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस में whatsoever, like even sometimes how you can maybe relate it to collective bargaining. So all those clauses needs to be added in this. Then we have what are the function of this work council. Definitely to have a good relationship between the employer and employee, that is like labor. Maintain continuous empathy. Definitely they have to like one hand work hand in hand. Both the parties needs to be considerate enough to bear and to go with healthy relationships. Then we have this security and working conditions of that job, and particularly factory or whatsoever, should be satisfactory, should be good. Vocational training, if there is a need that some workers do require some type of trainings, so it's the management task that they would should be providing training to their particular employees or particular labels, in terms of like if they have to go for any other external one, they should be providing them, because at the end it's their organization in which the labor are working. Then they must be having harmonious working condition. Definitely good working conditions should be there, whatever like the basic facilities, basic necessities should be there. If they can provide, being the management, they should be supporting their families as well, in terms of like education facilities, or in terms of like other any other mutual interest facilities. If they can facilitate, they need to facilitate their workers. Also, bilateral negotiations are basically when both the parties accept something. Okay, we do on like maybe acceptance basis, or they are like try to go with each other. So basically that's a deal between the two parties, that whatever comes in, we are going to be responsible for that. So it's from the both side, the management as well as the labor. So again, this is also one of the main function of work council. Then we have collective bargaining agent. Now, who is that person? Who this is basically the person who has been elected by that establishment, by the labor, by the union, and he has been appointed, or she has been appointed for the year of period of 2 years from the date of such declaration. So that's basically collective bargaining agent. Now, what are the rights, or what are the things or duties that person has to do? He or she must be connected with the all the matters related to employment and non-employment. What are the terms of employment? What are the conditions? What the rest of the labor, the union is telling him, he or she has to communicate, give notice, and declare a strike if there is a need. That person needs to be in front and should be leading all such activities. Nominate representatives of workmen. He should be like, if we have many divisions under that person, so we need to divide different nomination representatives that would be working under that collective bargaining agent. So like union leaders में आपके further जो representatives, and maybe um, आप उसको डिवाइड कर लो जो भी आपके बने हुए, मे बी अगर फॉर एग्जांपल दे आर डिफरेंट सेगमेंट्स ऑफ दैट, तो यू कैन हैव from different segment, you do have different nominations of representation, so that every department, every segment has their representation, and then they can tell whatever comes to their maybe union leader and collective bargaining agent. Okay. Then how we are going to do that? For these, the legal terms are like 50% or more should be their elected and nominated workers or representatives should be their hold office for 2 years, meeting, discuss, and matter, discuss, and meeting. So that representative needs to tell each and everything to their representatives, to their different जो भी उनके नीचे लेबर है उनको बताएं कि क्या बात हो रही है, मैनेजमेंट क्या कह रही है. He or she needs to communicate each and everything to the management, and then back to the labor as well. So that's how he is the middleman. He is the collective bargaining agent who is there to talk on behalf of the labor. Then these are some of the matters requiring workers advice. Like there are places where you seek workers advice as well, because they are actually running your organization, they are working over there, so they know better as well. So their involvement is also one of the mandatory thing. So you need to frame out service and policy about promotion discipline. So being with the union leader or the collective bargaining agent, you can sit with him and discuss what should be the rules, what should be the policies about promotion and discipline, how our physical working conditions can be better, and how are they right now, what type of training, in service training, our workers require, if they require any, what could be recreation and welfare work you can do, like maybe education facilities to their children, maybe health facilities, maybe sometimes you can offer them recreational activities in terms of like something you can done, like कोई आपने उनको bonus दे दिया, किसी और चीज़ पे आपने उनको facilitate कर दिया. So again, you can work through that. Then we have regulation of daily working as, like if your organization, if your factory is working on shift basis, that how you are going to plan those, how you are going to regulate those. So you have to see that either they are daily wagers, or either you are paid them on monthly basis or weekly basis. So how you are going to regulate your working hours. Then how, if there is like, if somebody is taking a leave, what is the policy of that? It's a paid leave, it's a non-paid leave, so you need to be, and you need to tell the management as well that what are the plans. Then there are matters related to order and conduct of work, that if somebody do misconduct, then what needs to be done, how you will be, either you are going to terminate that employee or you are going to give him a warning, or what will be the right procedure to handle such maybe problems. So these things should be asked from the worker side, from that maybe collective bargaining agent or union leader, so that he or she would be giving you an idea. जब तक उनसे आप उनकी एक राय नहीं लेंगे, जब तक उनकी इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं होगी, so again this whole policy or procedures could not be uh, put forward or could not be implemented. Then what is strike and lockdown? Now there are two concepts like strike and lockdown. Strike is basically that is done by the management, sorry, by the workers. जब strike call होती है तो वो workers की तरफ से होती है, they don't want to work, maybe they are not happy, they are not satisfied, maybe उनको जो आपने जो benefits दे रहे हो, जो maybe जो working conditions that's not up to the mark, that's why they call that a strike. तो जो उनका यूनियन लीडर है या जो भी उनके यूनियन के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हैं, लोग हैं, दे से कि हमने नहीं काम करना. The other thing is lockout. Lockout is basically when the management decides that they don't want their workers to come and work over here. So they go for the lockout. Management अपना factory को बंद कर देती है और कहती है हमने इन workers से काम नहीं लेना, हमें इनको काम नहीं देना. So this is basically lockout. So again, both the things should be seen, that either workers are doing wrong or the management is doing wrong. So we should be avoiding all those illegal practices that are being done in this. Both, either it's a strike or either it's a lockout by the management. In both cases, maybe the collective bargaining agent sits with the management and discuss that what are the issues, what needs to be done. And again, in terms of lockout, the management needs to sit with the labor unions that why we are doing this. Maybe we are going for downsizing, maybe we are shutting this particular factory or unit. So again, you need to communicate everything to your workers. Then this is basically the registration procedure for if there is any problem or anything that happens in the factory, that what's the procedure they have to apply for an application, then registration will be going on, then what are the objective, then again registration, and then appeal. So basically these are for the collective bargaining agent, that how he or she can register for the procedure of any, if anything happens, like there is an application form, then he needs to register it. There are some objectives of that particular form, registration form. Then again, if that does not seem right, so again there could be another registration and appeal for that particular. So these are a few of the steps. Then we have guaranteed fair treatment. Now, how we can guarantee that in our particular factory or our workplace, our workmen are safe, they are having the equal treatment, they are having a good environment. So all these things need to be, again, speak up program. You should allow your workers or employees to communicate, to have maybe to discuss with their maybe labor union or maybe whatever complaints that comes in. So again, if you give them that margin, that open door policy, open program, that should be a two-way thing, so that they would easily communicate with you. They should and there should not be any gap in between management and the labors. Then sometimes some management do conduct these opinion surveys just to ask. This is basically a questionnaire tool in which different questions are being asked about the company, about their views about how they are working, how there's the work-life balance, what are the ins, what are the outs, what they think, what they want to change. So anything what you would like to ask to your employees, you can uh, have such type of questions. These are opinion surveys. Then we have top-down programs in which, again, in-house meetings, different discussions, maybe there's a roundtable discussion, maybe in-house newsletter that can be provided to all the employees that what is happening. So again, top management needs to communicate each and everything what is happening on the top level, ताकि बाकियों को पता हो कि क्या चीज़ हो रही है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, किस चीज़ पे काम किया जा रहा है, क्या आने वाली चीज़ें क्या है, क्या डिसीजंस होने वाले हैं. समटाइम्स ऐसा होता है कि सिर्फ टॉप मैनेजमेंट को पता होता है कि क्या करना है, बाकी सबको दे आर ऑल वेक, दे आर ऑल लाइक मे बी ब्लाइंड फोल्डेड और दे आर लाइक नॉट being part of that decision, so they are not known. So again, if your rest of the employees are not part of that particular plan, they won't be meeting all the goals and the criterias. So again, if you take their output, if you involve them, if you at least inform them that what's happening around, so they can also be updated about all the important matters regarding your organization. Then these are few of the practices that needs to be done and that needs to be there in terms of fair treatment. Number one is wages. Definitely your wage should be as per like whatever the rules and regulation, that should be according to that how much you are working. Then we have hours, then we have conditions of employment, so these all things needs to be there. Disciplinary cases, if there are any discipline cases, you need to be very fair that you are tackling each and everyone in that. Seniority problems in terms of promotions, transfer and layoff, you need to be very vigilant that why you are having promotion, why you are giving that person transfer, or why you are terminating a particular employee. So you need to be evaluating that. Then you have job evaluation, that how you are going to evaluate the job, on what basis, on what criteria, that needs to be there, that needs to be written. Then what are the assigned tasks, you need to be fair in that as well, that हर किसी को जो काम दिया वो सही है या नहीं है, उसकी in terms of job nature के मुताबिक था या नहीं था, तो you need to be fair enough in that. Overtime, again you need to see that overtime आप जब दे रहे हो तो किस basis पे दे रहे हो, क्या उसकी conditions हैं, क्या criterias हैं, so are you fulfilling all the criteria or not. So this is overtime. Then we have vacation and holidays. What are the things that needs to be done in that vacations में, आप holidays में क्या क्या कुछ include करो, किस बेसिस पे आप वेकेशन दे रहे हो, क्या हॉलीडेज हैं, मे बी आप सुपरवाइजर लेवल पे, मे बी वर्कर लेवल में भी आपके पास डिफरेंट कैटेगरीज हैं जो बिल्कुल फ्रेश हैं या फिर उसके बाद जो एक्सपीरियंसड है. सो अगेन यू नीड टू गिव सर्टन वेकेशन एंड हॉलीडेज. एंड देन अगेन इंसेंटिव प्लान में आप किसको इंसेंटिव दे रहे हो, किस बेसिस पे दे रहे हो सकता है टेन्योर पे दे रहे हो सकता है आप उसकी परफॉर्मेंस पे दे रहे हो. सो अगेन यू नीड टू हैव क्लियर कट पॉलिसीज ऑन दैट. Then management should be having an open door program, open door policy. जिस तरह हमने पहले बात की थी कि it should be a two-way thing. Everything should be communicated to your labor and then to the management as well, so that both the parties will be on the same page. Discipline, when it comes to discipline, again you need to be very much you need to be very much turn in that कि क्या करना है, किस तरह करना है. अगर किसी की गलती है तो उसको आपने obviously इसको you need to tell that person. Then when it comes to dismissal, that if you need to remove or terminate the job, or if you need to किसी को आपने fire करना है, so again on what background, on what grounds you're doing that, you need to have fair reasons. Either it could be was conduct, either he was not working capacity, performance, maybe redundancy, maybe, or the procedure was not right. So you need to see that either it's being done fairly or not. Then we have insubordination. Insubordination is basically जब employee आपको कोई refuse करता है कि मैं for example मेरे senior ने मुझे कुछ कहा but I am not going to do that. So your supervisors, आप मे बी उनको respect नहीं करते या मे बी आप उनकी बात को नहीं मानते. So on that basis if somebody मे बी आपको अगर वो निकाले या कुछ करे तो अनसबऑर्डिनेशन के भी आपके पास बहुत क्लियर कट होने चाहिए कि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने अपने वर्कर को कुछ कहा एंड ही और शी इज नॉट लिसनिंग टू मी, so what are my policy, what are the ground rules I have to follow. So again you need to be having very proper rules and regulation for that. Then there are termination at will. Basically termination at will is like कि अगर आपने किसी को टर्मिनेट करना है एम्प्लॉयमेंट से तो आपने उसको बताना है. मे बी आप जिस तरह हमने पहले अपने लास्ट चैप्टर में बेनिफिट में बात की थी दिस सवर्नेस पे की, मे बी हम उसको सवर्नेस पे एक मंथ के एडवांस पे या मे बी सर्टन अमाउंट ऑफ पे, मे बी जिस हमने कहा पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट हम दे के उसको कह सकते हैं कि वी आर रिलीजिंग यू, सो दैट हमें अब लाइक दिस इज बेसिकली टर्मिनेशन एट विल कि हम उसको बता के उसको एक मे बी फेवर करने में एक महीने की पे सैलरी दे के वी आर asking that employee to leave. Then we again fair practice in terms of wrongful discharge. अगर आपने किसी को गलत चीज पे किसी जगह किया discharge, so again you need to be very much clear कि क्यों किस वजह से. You should be conducting termination interview like exact interview जिस हमने पहले interviews में बात की थी करना चाहिए ताकि पता चले कि क्यों किस वजह से हम छोड़ के उसको निकलवा भी नहीं है, और वो भी अपने चाह के अगर जो भी उसके दिल में या उसके है जहन में grievances, that person can also share. Then we have sometimes organizations to provide this outplacement counseling. They counsel their employees, they tell their employees that how this career transition will be helpful, or how we are going to support you, how we maybe they are going to support you getting another job. So some organizations provide this type of outplacement counseling as well. Then sometimes we need to again, if we are closing a plant and that's like again हमें अपने employees को अगर downsize करना है, like हमें उनको निकालना है क्योंकि मैं अपना plant ही close कर रही, so again I need to be very much son in that why I'm doing that, why is this like I'm downsizing my employees. So sometimes I need to lay off some certain people कि मैं मेरा प्लांट क्लोज नहीं हो रहा बट मुझे ले ऑफ करना है क्योंकि मैं शायद ब्रेक इवन नहीं कर पा रही या मैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मेरी प्रॉफिट में नहीं जा रही, मे बी बहुत ज़्यादा लोग हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा आई हैव टू लाइक अगेन सी हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू गो विद दैट. Lastly, I have to see what are my retirement and pre-retirement counseling, like if a person is going is about to be retired, that what are the benefits our organization is going to provide, what can be the solutions, maybe just हमने बात की outplacement counseling if we can do that as well. So in terms of like all things related to the retirement, that either they have to go for a career switch or they want to go anywhere else. So from the labor side, if you can provide these things, that should be really good on the part of the labor. So basically this chapter is all about that how you can develop good labor relations and how you can keep your labor intact even if they are like with you, or if they are you are leaving them, on what basis. So everything should be in a very fair practice so that you are not being or doing injustice to anyone. So this is all from this chapter. I hope you like this chapter and you like my video as well. Do subscribe and do share your opinions. Take care. Thank you.